and welcome to another exciting video. Now in this one, we'll be looking at how we can create a shared navigation bar. Now why do we need a shared navigation bar in the first place? So in our application, we have created a couple of pages like login, logout, and pricing. And every time we need to access these pages, what we have to do is type their name in the address bar, which is very inconvenient and not recommended at all. So in order to ensure that we access these pages without having these links mentioned in all the newly created pages, we create a shared navigation bar, and then that navigation bar will be accessible from all these pages. To do that, first of all, we'll be creating a component. Now, under the components directory, we'll have our nav.js, as you can see over here. Now, in our nav.js, what we are doing is we are first of all importing the link and then the context, user, and use effect and use state. Now, this context that we are making use of returns a promise. So here we are defining a constant using the use user, and we are also creating user and set user using the user state. We are initializing it with null. Then making use of use effect, we are resolving the promise which is being returned by the context, and once that promise is resolved, we are setting the user. Now once the user is set, here in return block we have created three simple links: home, pricing, and then login or logout. Now this is based on the condition whether the user is logged in or not. If the user is logged in, then we will present the logout link, otherwise login link. Now we have made a couple of more changes to make sure that the context use user is properly utilized. First of all, if you notice here in the file, we have gotten rid of the pages.js file from the app directory, and what we have done is we have created a new page called index.js within the pages directory. Now within this index.js page, you'll notice that we have utilized the superbase, the link, use effect, and use state, and the use user context. Now the use user context is used exactly how we have just now explored in the nav.js, and using the use effect we have fetched the data, and here if the component is loading we are showing the loading screen, and if there is an error we are showing fetching failed, otherwise we are returning the main component. So that was one change that we made, and in our context user.js file, here we have made certain changes as well. So if you notice, we are getting the current user or the logged in user using superbase.auth.getUser. But when we are trying to get the user profile, we are then using the get session. So it is going to return us a session object, and within that we will have the user object. Using that, we are making use of the value over here, the ID of the logged in user, and fetching that one single record. Then we are setting the user and the profile information. Other stuff that we explored earlier in previous lectures remains exactly the same. Now that we have created the navigation bar, it's time now to make use of this navigation bar. And to do that, we'll be heading over to our app.js file. Now this app.js file is a special file. It starts with underscore. So whatever you mention over here is spread across all the pages that we have in our application. So here within the user provider, you will notice that we are making use of the nav component, and here we are importing that nav component. Once that's done, all we need to do is run this application. So here currently you can see that we are logged in, and if I go to pricing, I'll be presented with the pricing page, and here you have the pricing data available. If I click on home, I'll be on the home page, and if I click on logout, and on clicking logout you can see I'm presented with the login screen. Let's quickly do one more round of testing for this, and there you go, you can see the logout link appearing now. So that's how we can create a shared navigation bar and access it through all the pages that we have in our application.